Kenya's special forces are expected to arrive in Haiti in the coming days. Gas pump attendant gunned down in St. Elizabeth. Men posing as police execute a man in Westmoreland, while Peter Bunting criticized police high command. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. Hell to pop in Haiti soon, as Kenyan soldiers will be arriving soon. Kenyan special forces are expected to arrive in Haiti in the coming days. A small group of Haitian officers, part of a large United Nations multinational security mission, arrived in Port-au-Prince, Haiti on Monday to stabilize the country after months of turmoil. Their arrival comes as the city's airport reopened nearly 3 months after a gang uprising forced it to close. Kenyan media report says another 200 officers are due to arrive in Haiti later this week. The deployment coincides with a state visit of Kenyan President William Ruto to the United States. About 1,000 Kenyan soldiers are expected to join the mission, as well as officers from Chile, Jamaica, Grenada, Paraguay, Burundi, Chad, Nigeria, and Mauritius. The gangs are saying that they will be engaging any opposing force that comes into the country. The People's National Party has blasted Transport Minister Darrell Vaz over his release of private information on opposition leader Mark Golding during a radio interview on Monday evening. There has been growing debate over Mr. Golding's status as a Jamaican as well as British citizen, with Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Monday arguing that if Mr. Golding is to serve as the country's highest leader or even the opposition leader, he must pledge sole loyalty to Jamaica. Addressing the issue on Monday afternoon, Mr. Vaz disclosed private information on Mr. Golding's interaction with the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency PICA while speaking on the dual citizenship impasse. And in a statement yesterday, Shadow Minister of Information Nikisha Burchell described the releasing of Mr. Golding's private dealings with PICA as a significant breach of privacy which should be investigated. She warned that the practice of politicians disclosing private information on their opponents as part of political gamemanship is of grave concern to the public. Meanwhile, opposition leader Mark Golding, who, after admitting to being a British citizen, has expressed disappointment at the discrimination he has been enduring because of his skin color. There have been questions regarding Mr. Golding's citizenship, mainly by the Jamaica Labour Party, since his recent suggestion that the constitutional reform process should reconsider the current rule that bars certain dual citizens from sitting in the Jamaica Parliament. He has been further taken to task for saying that Jamaica should be in a position where it has 1 foot in and 1 foot out of King Charles' yard. This is the position he has taken in relation to his push for the Caribbean Court of Justice to be made Jamaica's final appellate court. Mr. Golding confirmed that he remains a British citizen, but insists that there is no legal basis for him to renounce his status in the United Kingdom at this time. Addressing the Sturgeon Divisional Conference in Runaway Bay, St. Anne on Sunday, Mr. Golding declared that he had nothing to hide. Meanwhile, there was high drama yesterday at the annual conference of the Jamaica Police Federation after opposition spokesman and national security Peter Bunting continued his criticism of the police high command over its decision to interdict former Federation chairman Corporal Rohan James. Corporal James was interdicted and sent home on suspension by the High Command after he criticized the leadership over the delay in making overtime payments for rank and file members last year. Speaking Tuesday at the Federation's conference in Montego Bay, St. James, Mr. Bunting again went after the High Command over its actions, accusing it of union busting. He warned that the suspension of the former chairman will have a chilling effect on Police Federation going forward. And the truth is that they suspended and interdicted Corporal James just because he wanted better for the police and voiced his opinion in the open at the funeral service of slain Constable Damian Blair at the Old Harbour New Testament Church of God in St. Catherine. James reportedly chided the police high command for allegedly failing to have overtime payments made to rank-and-file police personnel despite the government approving such a system to calculate and make the payments, and the government/hierarchy did not like what he said. And this is by far the most corrupt any Jamaican government agency can ever get. A man was shot and killed after men posing as police entered his home in Betheltown, Westmoreland on Monday morning. He has been identified as 23-year-old Anthony Evans, otherwise called AJ, a laborer of Argyle Mountain in the community. The incident happened at 1:30 a.m. and reports from the police are that Evans and his 17-year-old girlfriend were inside their one-room board dwelling with the entrance door open when 3 men, all armed with handguns, walked up on their veranda and shouted, "Police, police!" According to the police, the teen hid under the bed while Evans walked to the door. Shortly after, a loud explosion was heard, after which the men pushed open the door and began to fire shots on Evans. The three men then left on foot in the area towards the Betheltown direction. The police were alerted, and on their arrival, the now deceased man was seen lying on his right side in gunshot wounds to his upper body. He was taken to the Savlamar Public General Hospital, where he was pronounced dead, and investigations are now ongoing. Meanwhile, a 31-year-old gas pump attendant was gunned down in an early morning attack at her home in Pepper, St. Elizabeth yesterday. The woman has been identified as Shireen Farquharson from Pepper. Reports are that she was at home with relatives when they heard explosions, and in response the relatives ran from the building and hid in nearby bushes. And it's reported that three men busted into Miss Farquharson's bedroom, and alarmed Miss Farquharson shouted at the men and attempted to shut the door, but they managed to kick the door open again and fired several shots at her. The police were alerted after the gunfire stopped, and Miss Farquharson's body was found under her bed in a pool of blood with several gunshot wounds. And it is said she was a witness to a murder, and this was a hit to make sure she never make it to court. A taxi operator was shot and killed at the intersection of Mountain View Avenue and Windward Road in Kingston yesterday afternoon. He has been identified as Kimar Minot. The attack was reportedly carried out by men posing as passengers, and following the shooting, the area was cordoned off, and Kingston East police are now investigating. A St. James woman accused of stabbing her ex-boyfriend's current partner in an apparent jealous rage, resulting in the victim undergoing surgery, was found unsuitable for bail during her appearance in the parish court on Monday. According to court documents, Collins was previously romantically involved with the man who is currently now in a relationship with the complainant. The prosecution alleged that on February 16, while the complainant was at her home, Collins arrived there and engaged in a confrontation in which she attempted to stab her with a knife. Two individuals had to step in to stop Collins from causing harm to the complainant, and it is also claimed that Collins made a threatening statement to the complainant before the authorities arrived, saying, "Me must kill you." 4 days later, about 8 p.m., the complainant was reportedly on her way to work when she was attacked by Collins, who brandished a knife and stabbed her in the region of her left breast. The complainant had to undergo a surgical procedure due to the severity of the injury. And during Monday's hearing, the prosecution objected to Collins being granted bail, and the prosecution argued that Collins posed a potential risk of fleeing and may fail to appear for her trial. On to sports, with the Jamaica senior women's football team looking to return to some form of normalcy. Reggae girl Tiffany Cameron said that she is anxious to resume play after an 8-month hiatus. Cameron, 32 years old, is a member of the Reggae Girls squad that made history by advancing to the round of 16 in the FIFA Women's World Cup last year. She last represented Jamaica in the Olympic Games qualification play against Canada in September of 2023. And she, along with other core members of the team, withdrew their services for several months due to pay and other disputes with the country's governing football body. Cameron has great expectation for the Reggae Girls now that Hubert Busby has returned as head coach. Busby previously served as the team's head coach between 2020 and 2021 before he was relieved of his position due to allegations made against him in a sexual misconduct investigation during his time coaching in Canada from 2010 to 2011. But he was later cleared by FIFA of any wrongdoing. So he will now take over as coach of the Reggae Girls. And don't forget, the best news and sports takes place on this station. If you ever miss the news, please go to YouTube, type in Jamerican Undiluted News, listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep it going. We're at 99 right now. Please go ahead and subscribe, make it at least 100. And that's news and sports on your favorite radio station. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.